So next question was assess the risks associated with water insecurity, 12-mark question. The risk associated, you had to tell me what risks were caused by water insecurity, not risks create water insecurity. Okay. So the first thing about assess is you have to weigh arguments for and against. Next thing about against assess, you need to give a 12-mark question. You need to give two-piece paragraphs. Okay. So the way I would have structured the two-piece paragraphs is as follows. I'd have said paragraph number one, there's four basically risks associated, okay? Social, economic, environmental, and political. And that's ultimately what I was hoping you'd talk, the four types of risk that I was hoping you'd evaluate and assess to one another. So, for instance, one risk associated with water insecurity is social. Think of diseases. Think of the mine in China that led to increased cancer rates in the region, and then explain why diseases are a social risk of water insecurity. Think of the impact it has on life expectancy, on the quality of life, on education, on healthcare, and then counterpoint that with saying, however, another risk is environmental. And there you could talk about destruction of mangroves in Malaysia due to aquaculture, and explain why aquaculture is an environmental risk, because it destroys food webs, ecosystem, habitats, food chains, etc. Okay, and in paragraph 2, you'd say, well, actually, another risk is political. Think of conflict and the Great Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. Explain how conflicts are a political risk caused by insecurity. It leads to water war. It leads to geopolitical tensions. Climate change is only going to accentuate those. And counterpoint that with saying, however, another risk is economic. Think of the amount of unemployment in the Aral Sea due to the decline of the fishing industry, for instance. Okay, and explain why unemployment is an economic risk. Think about economic decline of an area. It's basically the kind of opposite to multiply effect, the drop in standard of living for people living in the area, etc. Okay, again, here you have to assess a risk associated. Some of you assess the risk by telling me the risk and saying as a counterpoint, however, a solution could be, it's risky. You could, but the risk of that is that you're not providing all the different types of risks. Okay, it's not there. I'm asking you to compare different types of risk. I'm not necessarily wanting you to tell me what's a risk and how it can be managed. Okay, and this, if you structure your answer that way, you provide more information. Okay. So, like I said, there's no need for management and certainly no need for positives. So you can just focus on the risks and tell me different types of risks. That's how I'd have structured your two-piece paragraphs.